Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer and this is my creative space. This is where I share all about my projects that I'm working on, from yarn crafts to needlework to diamond painting and everything in between. Today is a very special episode. This is my first Flosstube. I have been very inspired lately by all of the Vlogmas episodes and floss tubes that I've been seeing on YouTube, that it's really sparked me to pull out my old cross-stitching projects that have been unfinished for a number of years, and I wanted to take this opportunity to show them off. I have some finished objects that I finished some time ago. They just haven't been finished. And then I have a lot of work in progresses that have just been sitting, waiting for some attention for the last, some been probably 10 years. I hope you really enjoy this episode because I have a lot to show you. Let's get started. The first project I'm going to show you, now this I believe was a Lizzie Kate pattern. She's one of my favorite designers, and I'm very sad that she's not making new designs anymore because I probably collected a lot of her patterns. They're just a lot of fun, and I always loved the colors and everything. This, I believe, was Easter. It was like an Easter sampler, if you could tell by the bunny charm. I've had this in my stash to be finished for, I couldn't even tell you how long. And I apologize in advance if I don't remember the names of some of these patterns. I definitely don't remember the name of some of these fabrics, although I could tell you what count they are, but I couldn't tell you who they're by or who the hand dyer is. This is another Lizzie Kate. This says, "Don't get your tinsel in a tangle." I love this, and that's why I love her patterns, because I just love the cutesy sayings on a lot of them. And this one's probably been finished maybe 4 years now, and I haven't finished, and I guess it's because I haven't decided how I want to finish it. It's a little bit big to be an ornament. I'm thinking it should probably be a flat fold. Now, going into my works in progress, these I have quite a few. Now, first one. This is Bluebell by Nora Corbett. Let's see if that's better. This is on a hand dyed. I don't remember who the dyer is, but this one I started in 2015, and I remember that because there was a Facebook group that started to do a stitch along with this design, and I joined, and I don't know why I put this one aside. I think if you've ever done Nora Corbett's designs, they do take a little patience because they're very detailed. There's a lot of, the wings are all the metallic, the chronic metallic thread, and that thread, you need some patience, and you got to go slow also. So I think I may have put this one to the side because I just needed a break from her. I did start the beading, so I try to bead as I go because I hate leaving it for the end. And I was almost done with the wings, but I still have a good chunk. I have the whole skirt that I have to do. So this one is probably, I'd say 60% done, but she still has a long way to go. So I will eventually pick her back up and keep going. But the fabric is really pretty. It's a hand dyed. I don't know if you could tell. It is an opal Lugana, and I'm pretty sure this is a 32 count. I generally stick to 28 counts and 32 counts because 36 and above is a little too small for me. My next work in progress, this one's probably 8 years old, this is Sunflower Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is on a 28 count linen, using all of the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. Now this fabric, I remember my local needlework store at the time, they're not around anymore, they didn't have the a lighter color I wanted, and this was the next best thing, and I like it, but I don't love it. But that's not going to stop me from finishing this. But this was one of my favorite projects. I love Country Cottage Needleworks, Little House Needleworks, Nora Corbett. All of those they're some of my favorite designers, and Lizzie Kate. I have a lot of those projects ongoing. My next work in progress is the September Cottage by Country Cottage Needleworks. These, I think, these patterns must be over 10 years old now. I think they came out in 2010, 2011. And I've only done January. And I started this one, and I don't know why. I tend to pick it up, I work on it, and then I put it away and don't touch it again. I don't know why. But I need to finish it, and I have the patterns for all the other cottages, and I will get to them eventually, hopefully. I have a humongous cross stitch stash, which is sad. Cross stitch is what I used to do before I got into knitting. And once I discovered knitting and I taught myself how to knit, my cross stitch kind of went to the side a little bit. And I also model stitched for a little while, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, some of these pieces, I just kind of went in a bag and I left them there. But like I said, YouTube has been inspiring me to bring them all out and start working on them again. Another work in progress, this is another Country Cottage needlework design. She came out with, as she does, she always comes out with a series. This one is part of the, I want to call it the Woodlawn Friends. It was 9 patterns of different cottages and all in a snowy woodland theme. And I have them all. I wanted to stitch them all on one piece, which is nice with her patterns and Little House Needleworks, because they give you the option to lay them all out together, so you're not finishing 9 different designs separately. And I started the first one in the series, which is called Raccoon Cabin, I believe. And this one, I know I started this probably 10 years ago also, and I haven't stitched it since. But this is stitched on, this looks like a 36 count by how small the stitches are, and this is a linen. And if you're wondering what my favorite fabric is, as that tends to be a popular discussion among stitchers, my favorite is even weave. I will stitch on linen if I have to, but it's not my first choice for my projects, honestly, because it is kind of hard to, it's hard to count on them. And if you're stitching on a smaller count, they're super hard to see, and it just doesn't become fun after a while. My next project is one I actually just started recently, and it's my current work in progress. And I would say it's probably the project that's inspired me to really get back into cross stitching. I've become a huge fan of Caterpillar Cross Stitch, the designer based in the UK. And I started seeing her designs pop up on Facebook, and they were just really pretty and simple. She uses very little backstitch, if any at all. And I really loved her designs. And I bought 2 of her Halloween projects, and I love them. They're mindless and easy, and they're not some of these others that I just showed you. This is my progress on Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat was the stitch along for this year. Or I think this was maybe not a stitch along, but I believe it was the Halloween project for this year. And my Nightmare Before Christmas minder. That's, of course, now I can't think of her name. And of course, her name will come to me when I turn this video off, right? Right. But I'm really enjoying this. And I have discovered that I've been using not Pattern Keeper, but the other cross stitch pattern keeper that's for iPad, for Apple. And it is so nice to be able to mark up your pattern digitally as you go. That's just revolutionary to me. Mind you, I haven't stitched in a long time. I don't know how long those have even existed, but I wish I found out about them a long time ago, because then I probably would have been stitching on these a while ago. My next project, and this was just a start. I think I did one night of stitching on this, and I haven't picked it up since. But Lizzie Kate came out with a 3-part mystery series, and this is my start on part 1. And I've seen the whole project done, and it's really pretty. And I think one night I just felt inspired to bring this out, and I've touched it once and haven't touched it again. But yeah, this fabric, I believe, this is even weave 28 count. And it looks lamb's wool, because I know lamb's wool is a very popular beigey color. Just like my craft projects, I'm a fan of buying all my cross stitch projects as a kit. It's like, give me the fabric, give me the threads, give me everything. 123 Stitch is my go-to website, because if you've ever bought from them, when you pick a pattern, you can select the fabric and all the threads for it, and they just send you everything together, and I love that. So you don't have to go shopping for everything individually. My next start is another Halloween project by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was their stitch along in 2024, and I apologize, I don't remember the name, but I love this one because it's 5 different Halloween houses in a row, and the colors are like this pastel. They're like pastel colors, and I thought that was really cute because it's not your traditional Halloween colors. So I want to say it's called Witchy Way. Maybe that's not the name, but I'll start working on that one after I finish the other one I started. Next, because we're not done yet, just have to look at my note real quick. My next project started, this was probably from 2009. This is a long time ago. This is another Halloween project. This is called Halloween House by Ursula Michael. This is just on regular 14 count Aida. It's quite a big piece, but very cute. I remember starting this a long time ago when I had my blog, and I met a lot of people, cross-stitchy people online that way, and this was a stitch along that I started with some other ladies. It was very fun. I remember being worried that I didn't give myself enough fabric at the bottom. I was afraid that this piece was too small, and I think I just kind of abandoned it. I don't know. If you all follow my channel, you see how many projects I get into, so I probably put it down to do something else, and I just didn't pick it back up. But this is very cute, and I hate to admit it, but I got to a point that I didn't enjoy stitching on Aida. When I discovered even weave and linen, even weave more than linen, I didn't care to stitch on Aida. I guess I kind of became a snob in that way, but now that I've picked up stitching again, now I don't mind it. And I think too, because there are different kinds of Aida. There's soft Aida that you would get in a cross stitch store, or you have the really stiff Aida that you'd buy in a craft store. So I like the softer Aida, and I think back then maybe it existed, maybe it didn't, but I stopped using it. But now that I see that it's changed, and now it's much more nicer to work with, so now I don't mind it. Next project, and this one, who knows if when if ever I will finish it. But at some point I discovered Heaven and Earth Designs, and all their pieces are full coverage. And I quickly learned that while they look nice when you look at them on screen, to sit down and actually stitch them, it's work. But this is one that I started. The artist is Hannah Lynn, and if you've ever seen Hannah Lynn's artwork, it's very colorful. The first pattern I got from Heaven and Earth was one of hers, and it's called Bookworm Fairy, and it's got a ton of blues and greens, and this is what I started. Beautiful colors, and blue, green, and purple are my colors, and I gravitate to those. I learned that because especially just yesterday I was organizing all of my fabrics in these new drawers, which is why my craft room is a mess, because everything is just out and about. So I'm reorganizing, and I have a lot of blue quilt fabric. So blue tends to be the color I gravitate to. And I'll even give you a show of the back. So it's really pretty. And this will probably be a project I will bring out, and I'll just do a square at a time. It's also a project that I learned about parking threads. That was something I was not used to, especially being a model stitcher, because that's not something you can do, because model stitching teaches you this, where your back should look almost as good as your front. And when you're parking threads, that doesn't happen very, very well. My next project, and I have a few of these. I have some projects that I don't know what I did with the pattern. So I don't know if they'll ever get finished, but I have them. This was, it's not a chatelaine. I don't know how to say that name, but I think it's chatelaine. I don't think it's that, but this is another sampler pattern I picked up, and it's from 2012, because you see this has my initials in it, 2012, and it has specialty stitches in it, which is what these are, and don't ask me what the stitches are called. I know the thread is water lilies, and that's all I remember. But I'm hoping, see, there's more specialty stitches. I wish I remembered what they're called. But yeah, for sure, I hope in my cleaning and organizing process that I come across this pattern, because I'd love to finish it. I have this, it's funny, I have the threads. I have the threads right here. I don't know why I didn't keep the pattern in the bag. I'll be thinking about that as to why I would do such a thing. And finally, this is one I started. Oof, it had to be a long time because this was a kit from a craft store, and I stopped doing these a long time ago. But in looking at it, I think I'm going to pick it up and finish it. This is a Jan Lynn design, so I'm sure I got it from Michael's because they're the only ones I remember carrying Jan Lynn designs. And this is the Dolly Mama collection, and this one was called Bring Coffee. So I got through that part, bring coffee and no one gets hurt. And I think just before that sassy saying, I think I will pick this one up and try to finish it. That was cute. So that is everything that I have to share. And, you know, this was very nice. It was fun for me to go down memory lane and pull out everything I have. And honestly, in looking at these, I think I have more. I don't know where they are. Well, I have them, but they're probably in drawers or something. So if I find more projects as I do my organizing, I will show you. So that is all that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my whip parade, and I'm really looking forward to picking these projects back up and making some progress on them. But unfortunately, new patterns keep coming out faster than I stitch. So I also have that problem where I collect and I stitch much slower than I collect. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, and Merry Christmas. Bye.